Welcome to the Radiate Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Christy Hoffman. Each week we will discuss tools, tips, and ways to radiate your best life ever, interviewing practitioners, authors, and luminaries to help you on your path. Wellness, joy, peace, abundance. What do you want to radiate? Hi there, welcome to the Radiate Wellness Podcast. We are here to radiate flexibility with Delvon Lee, and he's going to talk about this technique that he does, which sounded really cool. We met up first at the KC Metaphysical Fair, and then at the KC Holistic Wellness Fair. And I tell you, at the KC Metaphysical Fair, this usually doesn't happen to me, but I got this raging migraine after doing a gallery reading. I know exactly who I picked it up from, but I had this raging migraine, and it did last all weekend. But I tell you what, I went over to see Delvon at the Metaphysical Fair because he had a booth doing massage, and you knocked it out. I'd say like 80%. Just a little bit, but man, sure took the edge off like nothing else did. So I was like, okay, I need to know about what this guy does. And so when we met up at KC Holistic Wellness Fair, I found out that Delvon does this technique, which I thought was pretty cool. And, we haven't radiated flexibility yet, and that's a really important thing to have in our life. So I wanted to know more about it and take a deeper dive. Welcome, Delvon.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, yay.
I'm excited.
Well, yeah, me too. Yeah, the way that you explained the stuff that you do, I mean, we all know massage, right?
Yeah.
Massage is just kind of basic. And come to find out there's all kinds of different type of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, let's just back up a bit. How did you get into massage in the first place?
Okay. So, growing up, I never really knew anything about massage. Didn't know that it was actually something you could do, you could learn, any of that. Playing around like little kids, oh, my shoulders hurt, massage my shoulders. And, we'll massage each other and just, be funny.
Right.
Got into high school, had a whole lot of injuries and things like that.
Were you into sports?
Yes, I played football.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Had a lot of injuries. Sat on the sideline, cried because I couldn't play, upset.
Yeah.
It wasn't until my senior year of high school where I didn't get to play football because I transferred to another school.
Mm-hmm.
And my dream was always to go to the next level, play college, play NFL. Like, that's all I ever wanted to do as a kid.
Wow.
So that fell through. So I started thinking, okay, what other things could I do to probably get to where I want to be, which is still some sort of athletic something.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really feel like continue to play because my body would have broke down fast.
It is a hard sport on the body.
Exactly. So then my best friend went to a walkthrough of a school.
Yeah.
And was like, hey, it's like, remember all those times we used to mess around and give massages? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, they have a massage therapy program. It's like, what?
What is that?
Like, what is that? Like, that's a thing? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. He's like, well, you should come check it out. And I'm like, fine. So I go and I do my walkthrough, and I'm kind of like, I didn't know what to ask, what to say. Like, I didn't know anything about it.
You didn't know it was a thing. How would you know what to ask?
I had no idea. And I actually met my very first teacher, which her name was Joe Peters. And she was like, there's something different about you. And I'm like,
okay.
Like, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, what's different about me? I'm just a normal person.
Right.
And then I was like, okay. Talked to them. It's like, okay, well, I got a decision to make. Went home and looked up if athletes even do that. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's a thing, why not, try to get to that point?
Right.
Found out that there was a thing called sports massage.
Yeah, there is.
So I started school, and it was very intriguing. I've always been that type of person that's been intrigued with the body and what the body can do. I'm the weird person that likes what the inside of the body looks like. So if the body's exhibits are here, I'm like, I'm going. Absolutely.
I'm really kicking myself. I missed that. Here in Kansas City, we had at Union Station, it was cross sections of bodies, wasn't it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've always been intrigued.
Yeah.
So of course my first class was anatomy and physiology, and I'm like, I didn't realize that there was that many bones. And I thought this was called the arm muscle, and I knew it was bicep, but who really calls it bicep or anything like that? So it's like a whole different world opened up.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I can say I honestly kind of lost interest.
Really?
Yeah, it was high drive, very interested all the way to sports massage. I'm like, yes, this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm here for.
Right.
And it was a letdown because it was only a week long.
Really? Okay, so you're in massage school, and then the sports part of it was only a week long?
Only a week long.
Well, yeah. Okay.
So I was like, maybe this isn't for me.
Okay.
But my mom raised me to be, if you start something, you finish. So I was like, you know what? I'm close to being done. Let's keep going.
Right.
Keep going. So I kept going, and I graduated in 2009. Was doing it on and off for friends, worked at a place in Shawnee. And then I was like, you know what? I was working at another company. And I'm like, you know what? I was like, that sports has just always been there. It's like, I'm going to study for it. I'm going to take my test, and I'm going to get my national certification. Okay. It kept getting pushed off. Okay. No matter what life did, it kept getting pushed off. So I was finally like, you know what? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to study. And that was November of 2017. Like, I'm going to study. I'm going to take my test in March. We're just going to see what happens. Studied every day. I got notifications sent to me like, hey, here's your question of the day. I was doing horrible in the reviews. Absolutely horrible in the reviews. And I was like, why am I even doing this? Why am I doing this? March came around, time for the test. And I kid you, as sweaty as my hands were, I probably could have filled a swimming pool.
I'm sure.
They were so sweaty and I was so nervous. I shook the whole hour I was taking the test.
Oh, man.
Got my results and I actually passed.
Good.
So I was super excited about that. Then it was like, I know nothing about sports massage.
But you just studied it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's like, is there more to it? Like, there's a million classes to take. Right. What classes will be good? What classes are just, extra stuff to learn? Like, what would actually be something that those athletes would be like, oh, I got to go to you for? So I started my own practice in July of 2018. And it was very rocky. Very rocky. Okay. Didn't know anybody in the sports world. Didn't know any athletes.
That was a huge leap of faith, I have to say.
Very huge. Quit my job and everything.
Wow, that is a huge leap of faith.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened next?
So I reached out to a lot of people. There's only a few people that are like been in the sports industry for a long time in Kansas City.
Right. I mean, because sports-wise, we got the Chiefs, we got the Royals, we got the Sporting KC, we've got the T-Bones, we've got FCKC.
You have also the hockey team, the Mavericks.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And so,
gymnasts.
Yes, and my sister was a gymnast at Gage in Blue Springs.
Yeah. Oh, they're excellent.
And so it was like, okay, I was like, okay, I have a best friend that does triathletes, and he does Ironman competitions, and I have a sister who does gymnastics. Like, I can work on them while I'm still learning things and getting my foothold in. Right. It fell through. I couldn't get people to respond. Really? They'll read the message and wouldn't say anything back. And I'm just like reaching out to everybody possible. Sure. So one day, to be honest, I almost was like, okay, I give up. Like, I'm going to go get a job. I'm just going to stop. Right. And the very last, literally the day that I said that, I went on to Facebook, joined the sports massage group on Facebook. Oh, fantastic. And the first thing that I ever posted in that group was, what are some good classes to take for athletes? Sure. I'm trying to get to that next level. I want to work on athletes. Right. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I had 65 comments. Oh, my God. Okay, so it was out there. It was out there. But 65 comments of 65 different classes to take. You know what we could call this is radiate perseverance. Yes. Yes. Okay, so interesting. So all you had to do was ask. That's all I had to do was ask. But at the same time, all the classes that they were taking or wanting me to look into were very expensive. Oh, I'm sure. Very, very expensive. And I was thinking, like, well, some of that stuff we went over in class. It's like, I don't want something that I've already went over in class. I mean, a refresher would be great.
Right.
But I don't want that to be the focal point. I want something that's way different.
Yeah.
Something that will make me stand out from every other massage therapist in Kansas City. There's a lot of us in Kansas City.
Yeah. Any idea how many massage therapists?
I have no idea, but I know that there's a lot.
Right.
Whether that's people working for Massage Envy or Heights or even solo practitioners. There's a lot of people.
There are a lot of massage therapists, and good ones too.
Yes. And so a Facebook friend by the name of Sandy, she shot me a message on my inbox. She's like, hey, I seen your post. She's like, I want you to think about something. I said, okay, well, what do you have? She's like, I want you to look into SportStretch. And I said, SportStretch? She said, well, what's that?
SportStretch.
Yes.
Okay,
So
SportStretch.
I was like, well, what's that? That's different. She's
Right.
like, just look into it.
Doesn't even sound like massage.
No, it doesn't. And I'm like, well, okay.
Okay.
I get on the website and I start reading. I'm like, okay, this is very innovative. Never seen it before. Never even heard of it.
Right.
I'm like, okay, let me dig some more.
Right.
So I read over the creator. I'm just like, wow, okay. I'm like, this is something I can get behind. It's growing in the NFL. It's growing in the NHL. And it's starting to get big in the NBA. So it's like, foothold. It's like, okay, I could get behind this.
Find your niche.
Exactly. And I'm like, because it's so vague to say, oh, I'm just a sports massage therapist.
Right.
What does that even mean anymore?
Right, exactly. Anybody could be a sports massage therapist, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And so it's like, okay. I got on the website and I clicked on, I'm going to add my email in, get notifications of the class.
Okay.
The class was expensive. I
Sure.
can't lie about it. And then I was discouraged because I wouldn't be able to make it to those classes.
Right.
She usually does it down in Florida. And so I was like, oh man, like how, instead of saying, oh, I can't afford that, I was trying to find out how can I afford that?
Right.
And then I actually worked up the confidence to reach out to her. She's been doing this 18 plus years.
Wow.
So I reached out to her and was like, hey, I looked over your class. I've been following you on social media. It's like, it looks great. I would love to, participate. She said, the only thing she says to me was, make sure your email is in there. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Like that's done. Mm-hmm. Then our conversation just kept going and kept going and kept going.
So she was very accessible.
Very accessible.
This woman who started this SportStretch.
Yes, very, and this was during her busy time. Actually, when I messaged her, it was around the time that she was doing her training to teach the students during the NFL Combine training.
Nice.
Yes, so while she was teaching, 40 hours a week, she was also messaging and talking to me. And then I just took a leap of faith again. And I was like, hey, I know you're super busy, but I would love for you to be my mentor. Jokingly. She's like, oh, I'm never too busy.
Oh.
So she became my sports mentor.
That's awesome.
Yes. So we talk probably 2 or 3 times a day.
Awesome.
4 or 5 times a week. And one day I was just like, man, I really want to make it to her class. Like, I just really want to make it to her class.
Yeah.
She hits me just messaged me out of the blue and was like, hey, I'm doing a class in South Carolina. I said, okay. And she's like, there's going to be a significant pay cut or amount to go to this class.
Okay.
I said, okay, well, what are you thinking? She's like, it's only going to be $900.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So I said, okay. It's like, how long is it? She's like, it's a 3-day course. I am there. I am
exactly.
There. My thought process behind that was, she has a section on her website that says find a therapist. First thing I did was, is there anybody else here that's taking her class?
Right.
Very first thing I did, to see if maybe they can lend some insight or whatever the case may be.
Well, to see what the competition is, too.
Yeah. Nobody.
Right.
Kansas or Missouri.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, I can be the first one. I would be honored and blessed to be that first person to represent Kansas City in doing this. A lot of the Chiefs players, they were there for their combine trainings in Florida.
Right.
And so they got the work done.
Yeah.
And they were consistently asking her, is there anybody in Kansas City that does this?
Right.
Most people during their off season in their sports, they travel to like Florida, California. Sometimes they go to New Orleans. Some people even go to Ohio. Mm-hmm. But here in Kansas City, sports massage is so vague and so small that really nobody talks about it. So why not have something here so those guys can stay?
Absolutely. Well, and many times teams have their own massage therapist, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Right? They like kind of travels with the team or whatnot.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a really strategic move to find out. I can be the first person in Kansas City. I just checked the website again. You're the only person in Kansas City, right? As of this time, and that just really sets you apart.
Yes.
Right. It really does set you apart. So, what is it that makes this technique, this sports stretch? I mean, it's like everybody stretches, athletes and non-athletes. What's so special about this, and how is it even massage?
So it is not done on a table.
Interesting.
There are ways to do most of the stretchings on a table, like after a session. Mm-hmm. But most of it is a floor base on a mat, and it's literally doing it's a full body routine.
Okay.
With active and passive stretching.
Okay. And massage at the same time?
So the Thai comes into the massage part. So
explain that, Thai.
So Thai is doing a lot of movement with the body. Yes.
This is Thai, like Thailand.
Yes.
So, okay, I've heard of Thai massage.
Yes. And you're using like your feet and your hands doing a lot of compression while you're stretching at the same time.
Yeah.
So it eliminates literally all that blood flow. And as soon as you let go, sucks it right back on in there.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. So there's physiology with this.
Yes.
And physics.
I believe she went down to the smallest part of that thing just to make it just how it needs to be.
Right. So who is this she?
Her name is Christy Swiatkowski.
Christy Swiatkowski. It's an awesome name, I have to say. Christy's a beautiful name. And so Christy Swiatkowski, she developed this, and so how did she even get started? How did this come about?
She was just telling me she took a lot of classes, and I mean her resume is insanely long.
I'm sure. I mean, if she is to the level where she's working with professional athletes,
yes,
she's got to know her stuff.
She started in New York. She's from New York. She worked with a lot of the Bills players. She went to Thailand, I want to say, for like a month, maybe even longer, to actually learn this. And she stayed there to learn Thai. And when she came back, she just incorporated some Thai into stretching.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. And obviously it has great results.
Absolutely.
Hi, this is Christy. I just want to say that we here at Radiate Wellness hope you're enjoying this podcast. It's free to you, and we hope that you find it informative and inspirational. Heck, even fun. We have just 3 small asks of you to help us radiate growth. First, please hit the subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening on. That way, you'll receive a notification every time that we have a new podcast episode out. Next, please give us a thumbs up, a like, or a 5-star review. If you're feeling inspired, a positive review wouldn't hurt. These 2 small things will help others find us when they're searching for great podcasts. Finally, please tell your friends about the Radiate Wellness podcast. Better yet, show them how to find us and how to subscribe. If everyone did that, we would double our audience. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate it. Right.
Yes.
So what are the maybe the best properties of this type of work, this type of stretch? I mean, like, what can it do for the body?
So for the body, it's great for a pre-work.
Sure.
So right before you go out, do some warm-ups, helps loosen up the body just like a pre-event. Afterwards, it's great for a post relaxation. Flush the system and push, flood that fresh oxygen back into the muscles.
Oh, man.
It can go either way.
It can go either way. Mm-hmm. And then even if you're not an athlete, would it be beneficial?
Absolutely. Who couldn't benefit from stretching?
Right.
Especially the passive. Like, I can stretch myself, but I'm not going to push myself past my own limits because I know it. But if I have somebody stretching me, they're able to push me further than what I can myself.
But safely. Safely, where it's like I haven't like seriously injured myself, but stretched a little too far and said, "Oh, that's going to hurt."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you definitely want to be safe about this.
Correct.
And so this is used in professional sports teams. I mean, is this pretty widespread? Do people know about it?
In Kansas City, no. Yet. That is the goal. Yet.
Yes.
But yes, it is becoming very huge. Like I said, she works with the seniors that are going into the draft.
Excellent.
And so them knowing it, then they know exactly who they can go to, how to find it, and how to find that therapist that actually participates in it.
Right. And so what types of athletes do you work with now?
I actually got a couple of NFL athletes.
Wonderful.
Thanks to the
website and
the website, and also even before the class, I got to work on a few from her guidance. She helped me build up that confidence to talk to those local NFL athletes. And so I was able to work on a few, and I didn't have the confidence at all.
Right.
Because first impression is everything.
It is.
You get one shot at a first good impression.
Right.
That's it. And she helped me and guided me through that, and I was actually able to work on two. Actually, I have an appointment today with one.
Hey, that's fantastic.
I love it. I love it.
I love that.
Yes.
Well, these professional athletes, we just kind of elevate them, And I remember seeing, I am not a sports ball fan, except for soccer. I love soccer. But I saw one of the players out at an event. I was like, dang, that guy is tall. Wow, he's really powerfully built too. And then he just cut a figure, Somebody, you just look at this person and you go, there's something special about this person. I can't put a finger on it. And he was out there serving the community. I thought it was awesome. And somebody said, yeah, he's a Chiefs player. And I was like, that's what it is. And I would imagine you would have to kind of raise your own energy, raise your own confidence level to match that, to be able to work on these people. What did she do to help you get the confidence to talk to them?
First, she was just telling me you have to be confident in your work.
Yeah.
Whether it's an NFL athlete or if it's not, it could be an average Joe or just anybody. If you're confident, if you're not confident in your body work, they'll pick up on that.
Sure.
I mean, you can call it energy, you can call it intuition, but they pick up on that.
They do.
And so the number one thing is be confident in your body work. Learn some things that you think would benefit an athlete, i.e. stretching. What person doesn't like being stretched after a crazy game?
Oh, yeah.
Or a workout.
Right.
And then she was like, okay, then you just have to word everything right so it doesn't sound like you're stumbling over your words and you don't know what you're talking about.
I have to say you're a very articulate and well-spoken person.
It took me a while to learn that. It took me a while to learn. I mean, I've always had a good customer service voice is what I like to call it. Yeah. But sometimes I would just stumble over my words and kind of keep backtracking over the same thing that I said sometimes. Mm-hmm. So it took a lot of practice. A lot of practice.
Totally. I've been actually in the planning stages of teaching a public speaking class.
Oh, do it.
Thank you. I will. Okay, so there's a vote of confidence. It is a skill that some people think that you're just born with, but I do think you can learn it. I
would agree with you. Growing up, I wouldn't say I was shy. I've always been an extrovert.
Have you?
I was the class clowner.
See, but even extroverts, not always able to speak what's on their mind.
Exactly.
So you had to overcome that.
Yes. My mom raised us to never be quiet and never just settle. She always told us, speak what's on your mind, because closed mouths don't get fed. You say what you need, say what you want, and put it out there. Yeah. If it's out there, then they can't, people can't read your mind.
Well, and I've always found that sometimes you just have to ask. I've gotten some amazing things done just because I asked. I did a film festival called Real Democracy many years ago and won an award as a great film festival.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, thank you. It was many years ago. But I found out about a documentary that the BBC had done called The Power of Nightmares. And I said, I think that would be a great addition to this film festival about democracy. I called the BBC in London and I said, hey, I heard you got this documentary. I would love to show it in my film festival. And they said, sure. Do you want a DVD or do you want this other form? Some sort of professional format. I was like, a DVD would be great. Thank you. And so, but if I hadn't asked,
you would never know.
You just don't know.
And it doesn't matter the age.
No.
I'm only 31, and there's sometimes I'm still like, should I say something?
Right.
I'm going to back off. Then I'm like, no, I'm just going to say something. Because if I don't put it out there, then who can respond?
Right. Well, you always want to say it with kindness.
Yeah.
You always want to have, feel like you're coming from a place of truth and place of honor. But
correct.
Yeah, but just speak it. Why not?
Just be an open book. You never know what could honestly happen.
No, you never know. I mean, you could be working with Chiefs players.
Exactly.
Right? And for those who are not in Kansas City Chiefs are a big deal here.
Huge.
That's our football team, our NFL team. It's huge.
I have a lot of friends that's all we talk about is sports and more sports.
There are neighborhoods you can go to in Kansas City, and there's already flags everywhere that say Chiefs.
Yes, the last Friday they had opened up finally to get rid of the flags.
Oh, nice.
And McDonald's sold out in like the first hour.
Really, McDonald's was giving away flags?
Giving away
flags. I said, I'm not into football, but even I can recognize the power. You even got your Chiefs red on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really great. And so you just kind of, how did you even... I'm trying to formulate this question. How did you even get to where you are working on professional sports players? I mean, do you just call up the organization and say, "Hi, I'm a massage therapist practicing this cool stretching," like how do you get there?
So before I did the stretching class, I actually reached out to the organization.
Yeah.
And like I said, no response. Left messages, sent emails, left and right. I just gave up on it. It's like, you know what? If it's meant to be, it'll happen. Eventually, they'll come to me. And it wasn't until I started reaching out to the individual players that stuff started happening.
Wow.
Yes.
That takes some courage.
A lot. There were some times that I would seriously check my phone, like, did they read it? Did they read it? Did they read it? And then I was just like, you know what? I just have to be patient. And that's one of the things that I struggled with the most was being patient.
Sure.
It's like, I'm an entrepreneur. I want this to go fast. I want to be huge, et cetera, et cetera. And nothing ever went the way that I wanted to because I was being very impatient.
Yeah, you're trying to push the river.
Oh, yes. I was literally trying to take the whole river and just like dry out the whole land. That was me.
Right. There's a lot of great lessons here, though.
Yes.
Right? The power of persistence, the power of courage, the power of communication, the power of putting it out there and letting the universe do its magic.
Exactly.
The power of timing. Mm-hmm. So much of this.
Yes. I'm telling you, it's been a roller coaster, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. I have to have the errors to get the trials and the satisfaction that, okay, I'm achieving things that I truly have always wanted to do.
Absolutely. I mean, would you ever have thought as this goofy high school class clown kid that you'd be working with world-class NFL players?
Never.
That is amazing.
Like I said, I've always wanted to play.
Right.
Lived in Kansas City most of my life.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Ran across some Chief players here and there. Some great, some not so great.
Right.
You know. But I was like, man, I want to play. I want to play. I want to play. Never, ever did I thought that I would actually be helping a player stay on the field and do what they love. Because I know what it feels like. I mean, not at the pro level, but at a high school level. If it's that devastating to not play, I can only imagine what it feels like for a professional to not be able to play.
Right. I mean, some of these people, it's like they've put all of their eggs in this basket.
Correct. And I mean, all their eggs. It's like they're either all in or they're all out.
Right. I mean, there are some, like, who's the player? He's from Canada. He's also an MD. I can't.
The one that they just talked about him the other day. He's actually a lineman on the Chiefs.
Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm. But he came to my kid's school is the only reason I know who this is. But luckily, he's also got an MD degree now that he worked on while being a professional player. I can't even imagine. But so there are a few that do that. I remember Bo Jackson back. I'm really dating myself in the 80s when the Royals were in the World Series the first time. World Series champions. And Bo Jackson was a pro baseball player and a pro football player. That was insane. But he had something else it's like he was into sports. So if he blew a tendon, that was going to be it for everything, right?
Yep.
But so not all players have that, though. Not all players have another career that they can fall back on if they get injured. I think that's really smart that you learned at an early age, that you could still be in that world and make a difference, but you don't have to sacrifice your body for it.
Correct. I'm a hefty guy, and that impact on that ground, it's a lot of force on my joints. A lot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I still do my recreational sports just because I love being in sports regardless.
Oh, yeah.
But going as hard as those guys do.
Oh my God. Well, it's like the force of a freight train or something coming at you.
Exactly. There's some big guys.
There's some big guys, and it can make their helmets fly off and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dangerous thing, and I'm really glad the NFL is doing some things to try to protect the players. I've got nephews in high school sports, high school football, and I just terrified every time that they could, have something career-ending.
Yeah.
So it could even be life-ending.
Exactly, and it's definitely scary.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really thinks about it, but it always sits in the back of people's minds.
Well, of course
it always does.
Oh, just like a firefighter or a policeman. Every day at work,
you never know what's
there
going to
could
happen.
be something devastating,
exactly.
Right? And so that is a wonderful way that you can still be in the sports field and make a difference and support the players and what they do.
Correct.
And support the fans and what they love.
Correct.
Right? So, like you're working on total domination of the football industry.
Yes, I am working on that. I like the way you put that.
Total domination. And so, do you have plans to break into basketball? We've got hockey. We don't have a pro basketball team.
No, but we do have a minor team, the Tornadoes.
Right. Yes. Baseball. You've got plans to work into that?
I have definitely been thinking about expanding.
Yeah.
I even thought about the XFL, which is going to be going on during the off season of the NFL.
Right.
I thought about reaching out to them and try to figure some things out.
Yeah,
Baseball, Sporting KC.
Right.
I know they have a massage therapist on staff during the season.
But do they do SportStretch?
They don't do SportStretch.
Right. See?
So I'm going to have to reach out to Sporting KC as well.
Reach out to Sporting KC.
I'm loving the way you're thinking today. You're giving me all kind of ideas.
Well, and we've got a professional women's soccer team.
Yes. It's like there's so many people that I can reach out to.
KC, they're fantastic. And there's the Rangers, the Swope Park Rangers, another soccer team. I mean, and even on the college level, the colleges would probably need this as well.
And that's another thing. It's like, it's not just, utilized for the professionals. Like you can be youth, you can be high school, you can be college, and still get the same treatment that the pros are getting.
Oh, absolutely.
Who doesn't love that?
Right, absolutely. Well, just even the weekend triathlon enthusiasts.
Exactly. Because
I could use the same guy that the Chiefs use.
I have literally physically watched how beaten up somebody's body gets just after doing a triathlon or anything like that. It's like they spend almost 2 days just wanting to lay there.
Yes.
Like they're hurting so badly.
Yes,
so why not include something like that?
Absolutely. Well, and there's a thing called Corporate Challenge, which I know many other cities in the United States have this, but Kansas City has a very avid Corporate Challenge, and these are business people who do like triathlons and heavy sports games, and just like it's competing against other companies of the same size. And I tell you what, these people take it very seriously.
They really do.
Right.
And that's one of the things anybody in Kansas City can say. Almost everybody in Kansas City is very competitive.
They really are.
I mean, it could be Jenga or Uno, or it could be softball and football.
Scrabble. Yeah.
So it is very, very competitive here.
Very competitive.
Very competitive. And myself, I like to win. I don't know about anybody else. And if I lose, I'm just like, deep breath, there's always next week.
Right.
But
and then there's also, the hospitals. I know Children's Mercy has a sports injury clinic, and
reached out to them as well.
That's fantastic, right? And then there are a lot of 10Ks, 5Ks, all kinds of different marathons, etc.
Yes, bike races and all that stuff. I just missed the one that they just did. There was a can't remember what it was called, but I think it was held by Ultramax, and they were driving to each state and riding to each state and city that had barbecue places. It's like, that would have been fantastic. Not just for the barbecue, because I love barbecue, but to help those people out, because I know that's just killer on their bodies.
Oh, that is grueling. I mean, yum, but grueling.
Yes.
Right?
I don't know if I could do it and smell the food and my mouth will water the whole time.
And then how can you get back on a bike after you've eaten like 10 pounds of barbecue?
I just want to take a nap. Just want to take a nap.
Yeah, no doubt. So there's a lot of avenues where this would be really, really instrumental and really great. And I want to say, if anybody's watching this and, just kind of pulls a hamstring at the thought of like doing a 5K or something, that you're the type of person who could use this too. And everybody who has a body could use something like this, I believe. I'm hoping that this takes off.
Me too. Like I said, I feel like it's a great thing. I've actually had it performed on me, so I know what it feels like.
Oh, of course, you'd have to.
Like I said, I'm a big guy. My range of motion isn't the greatest. I'm not very flexible, but after having it done, I was able to sit cross-legged for the first time in like 15 years.
That is so cool. Now, that's a testament, my friend.
I have proof. Everybody didn't believe me at first, but I have proof. And you know what? I was excited that day.
Of course you were, because you were absolutely able to do something that you weren't able to do before.
Correct.
So this can really help.
It really, really does.
And you're the only one in Kansas City as of now.
The only one. It's a huge milestone and achievement for me.
I can imagine.
I've always wanted to be that person that's not, I wouldn't say a pinnacle, but like being the first person to be able to do something and expand it bigger.
Absolutely.
And to be able to represent Kansas City just feels amazing. It absolutely feels amazing.
You are outstanding in your field.
Thank you. That was my goal.
It's your goal, yes. So is there anything that we haven't talked about concerning your path to this, concerning the SportStretch technique, or any of the work in general that we haven't talked about?
There are a few contraindications.
Oh, this is really important. That's good to know.
So like if you have joint instability, you definitely don't want to do this.
No.
Not at all. Dislocations will be very easy and very painful.
Yes.
If it's very painful for you if it's excessively painful to be stretched, you don't want to do this.
Okay.
If you just got an injury, it's an acute injury, inflammation, swelling, or anything like that, you don't want to do it.
Right.
Second and third trimester.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
Right.
And a recent surgery. You definitely have to be cleared by your doctor before you can do this.
Well, I'm sure all of that you would do in an intake, and an evaluation before even beginning. But those are really good contraindications.
Yes.
Right? I mean, because your body wouldn't be up for any type of sports anyway in those situations. Now, this I have kind of a curious question. I have a dog who has a torn ACL, and I realize that ACLs you don't want to massage or stretch, but it got me thinking about animals. Could this be done on animals?
I don't know, but I'll definitely have to reach out and try to talk to her and see what she thinks.
Right.
Because there's a lot of animal massage therapists out there.
There are.
And I didn't know about it, and then there's like a whole community of them. It's insane. Fantastically insane, because dogs and animals seem to love it.
I can imagine, because massage is wonderful and stretching is wonderful.
Yes.
Right. And there are horses who are, they run their sports, and greyhounds, they have their sports as well.
There's a few people in the sports massage group I am on Facebook that does that, and they post videos, and it is very intriguing.
Oh, that is interesting.
Very intriguing. It's like, oh man, I got to see more of this.
Yeah, maybe you can branch out. Ooh. That's just quadrupled the number or doubled the number of legs that you can work with. Well, Delvon, it has been really interesting talking to you.
Thank you so much.
I am really impressed with all the things that you've been able to do in a fairly short amount of time.
I really appreciate that. Yes, it's moving fast, but at the same time, it's moving slow, which is good for me.
Yeah, I think so. Right, exactly. It's like, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time?
See, we just talked about 10 pounds of barbecue, so.
We are in Kansas City, the barbecue capital. So I wish you the most success and total domination of the sports world.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited to bring Kansas City to the map.
That's awesome. Well, we will put the link to the SportStretch website in the show notes, and a little bit more about the founder and about SportStretch in the show notes, as well as a way to contact Delvon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Radiate Wellness is a community of holistic and alternative healers and consultants based in the Kansas City area, dedicated to helping you create spiritual, energetic, and physical well-being. To learn more about our practitioners, services, classes, and events, or to schedule an appointment, visit us at radiatewellnesscommunity.com.